Hey, I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. Let's talk about what's going on out here across the tropics today because, of course, the cold surge is absolutely still dominating. That is keeping things chilly across Japan, Taiwan, Okinawa, and, of course, the northern areas of the Philippines. Not quite the Mihan, but it is still this northeast monsoon, which is bringing relatively drier conditions, but still passing clouds, some rainfall there in northern Luzon. Unfortunately, a shear line has set up over Mindanao, and that is bringing rainfall to these areas that just don't need any more rainfall. Still recovering from Typhoon Odette. Taking a look, though, at our SpaghettiOs. You know I like using these, especially for long range. They are the ensembles. Gives us a good idea of what we could expect in the extended forecast. And you see kind of some of these circles popping up in the latter part of the run from the GFS. That would be into the latter part of next week. And at least at this point, yeah, there is something kind of stretched out there that could bring an increase in rainfall. But we're still talking about the extended forecast. Right now, we're kind of in the dry phase of the Madden-Julian oscillation. Heading into next week, though, that phase is going to change just a little bit, which could help increase some chances of precipitation. Now, right now, nothing indicates a named tropical system. Get that out of the way. That's not something that we're going to have to worry about, but at least for now, definitely want to keep a close eye on the tropics out here. All right, let's talk about what's else going on. By the way, if you like these updates, check out our Patreon. That's like kind of the quick sponsor of the day. The link's down below. If you want to help, you can. If you don't, I will never put these updates behind a paywall, but every little bit does help, just a little bit. Also, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Here's our high pressure area. That is really what's causing all this colder air surging in from the north, bringing that CFX snowfall across Japan, cooler conditions in Okinawa over towards Taiwan, and the leading edge of that is still bringing that shear line. Now, the shear line basically is the change up of the northeasterly winds conflicting with the easterlies, and that brings that precipitation, unfortunately, when you get those changing of winds and that collision causing upward vertical motion. Those temperatures, though, with that cold surge are exceptionally chilly. In the Philippines here, on the morning of the 12th, we had a low of 12 there in Baguio, about 11.8, I should say. Thailand got down to about 10, Vietnam at 7 in Sapa. But let's move to the other side of the screen. Look at Fujisan. Of course, Fujisan, top of Mount Fuji. It's always cold up there, but minus 25 is nothing to laugh at. Meanwhile, into North Korea, minus 31, and this is the temperature into China. Minus 41 degrees was reported. I like showing the broader picture with the temperatures because it gives you a good idea of what is producing this cooler air as it gets down towards the Philippines and into the tropics, and why we call it a cold surge. Higher elevations across northern Luzon actually going to be into the teens, while even into Cebu, cloudy skies, unfortunately, combined with the cool air, is bringing those cooler temperatures too. I mean, mid-20s, but if you're in the tropics and you're not used to cooler air, definitely a problem. But the other problem is that still about 39% of Cebu is without power, 12% is without water, following Typhoon Odette. So the cooler, cloudy conditions on a normal day, it would just be a nuisance, but right now it is problematic. Despite the fact, things are getting back, 88% of the city does have water, 12% still doesn't. And put that in perspective, think about the city you live in, or just think about a big city in a first world country. Think about 12% of New York City not having water. That would be global news, right? Yeah, I just want you to think about that. All right, let's talk about the wind flow, though. We still got those drier conditions back towards the north with this northeasterly breeze. Unfortunately, the northeast monsoon still bringing that easterly flow. So places like Siargao, Surigao, southern Visayas, even Cagayan de Oro, you're going to be still looking at those cloudy conditions and rainfall heading into the early part of next week. See where the heaviest that precipitation is, about 30 to 50 millimeters, potentially along the east coast of Mindanao, unfortunately. And you just don't need any more rainfall. All right, let's take a look at that flyover into Davao, 29 degrees with those cloudy conditions here on Sunday. That all thanks to that shear line. I mean, you can really see where the shear line is set up with this graphic. Tacloban at 29, Cebu at 29, cloudy skies. Looking back towards the north, though, the drier northeasterly flow dominating into northern Luzon with Iligan at 26 and back towards Batak at 30. we are looking at those partly cloudy skies. Heading into tomorrow, we do have that forecast for Baguio, 22 for the high, 12 for the low, partly cloudy skies with a little bit of a wind there. Further towards the south, though, it is a little bit warmer, of course. Also, we get into the lower elevations. If we're talking about Manila with a high of 29 to 30 degrees with partly cloudy, we do have an increase in moisture heading into Wednesday and Thursday of next week and the latter part of next week. Have that increase in moisture, especially to the southern half of the Philippines, which is why I do have showers potentially in the forecast here for Cebu. Anyways, if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know. If you want to help support this channel, I did mention it briefly at the beginning of this update. Check out our Patreon. This is everybody who is currently donating to it. Each month, it just takes out about $2 if you pick the minimum scale, and it helps contribute to everything here. I know it looks like I'm just standing in front of a green screen, but everything behind the scene, from lights to cameras to the fantastic computer graphics that are used during this. Find any other YouTuber that is not associated with a TV station. I do work at a TV station, but this is totally separate from it because TV stations in the United States, and this is weather East Asia. Find another YouTuber that has these level of graphics, and the reason why I'm able to do this is for a few reasons. Luck, one. Two, the support from you guys, and that's why. So huge thanks to everybody on Patreon. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Stay safe out there, and thanks for watching.